All right, let's do this. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. So, just some context first. I'm a huge fan of the Harry Potter universe, and I've been reading the books for a good long time. I think ever since they were out. I actually started with the Goblet of Fire, unfortunately, but I did make my way back to the first book, and then I completed all the books. I think I ended up with book four first because I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know it was a series, and I just picked up the book randomly and read it and realized it was somewhere in the middle because at the end of the books or something, I think that's like a preview of the previous titles or something. That's when I realized, I think, that it was just one of the many books. But I was really young back then, and I really did get to appreciate the films as time went on. And being a person who's read the books, you always know that the films just can't keep up with it. But this Fantastic Beasts universe is totally new to me. I've not read any books of it whatsoever. It's all been, just in the movies. And I think the first film of the Fantastic Beasts trilogy was probably the best. And after the first one, them going into Grindelwald's story just didn't really do it for me. And now they finally came to the secrets of Dumbledore, and there's barely any secrets. Like what? Dumbledore is gay with Grindelwald. That's it. That's the secret. They didn't go into the details about his sister. They didn't really go into depth about his brother or his family and how exactly he had to link up, like what exactly caused Credence to end up in his current position. Albus never really explained it to Credence. He met Credence and he told him, "I'm so sorry, I didn't expect we didn't know about you. We didn't expect things to happen to you. The fact that Credence is a Dumbledore and all that. But he never really found out the story and told Credence, like, how did you end up in the situation that you are currently in? Like, why did you get separated from the rest of the family? And is there a way that Dumbledore can help to treat Credence because Credence is dying, as we know it? So yeah, there's a lot of things that had nothing to do with Dumbledore. The same way the crimes of Grindelwald only featured like 20 minutes of crimes of Grindelwald. The rest of it was still the story of Newt Scamander and the Fantastic Beasts. And I think using the Fantastic Beasts title to go about these subplots just doesn't seem to be very strong because what this entire film was about one creature, the little doe-like creature, which apparently can, the person it bows down to is going to be the next person who should lead the magical world. It just seems really strange that the wizards rely on such a mythical creature and not just their raw magic to decide. Like you see, the fact that what makes wizards, like human wizards especially, like what makes them think that they are the dominant species over all other races in their wizarding world is the fact that they think they are superior and that they bow to no one else, right? That's why the house elves are in their basement despite them being powerful. That's why the goblins are no longer to be seen despite having knowledge that they are so powerful. That's why the dragons are all controlled or tamed. It's all because the humans have realized that they are practically above everyone else. And that's why they run around, with their wands and they control the world and all of these sorts of things. And it feels really strange that they should bow down to such a creature. I mean, it makes sense for Newt Scamander to abide by the rules of the creature, but not really the rest of the visiting world. So that's kind of weird. Regardless, Mads Mikkelsen absolutely nailed it as Gellert Grindelwald, and Jude Law as Albus Dumbledore was brilliant. Of course, Eddie Redmayne is a fantastic actor. As Newt Scamander is a great actor. Ezra Miller does his part. I don't really have a liking to the character of Credence Barebone. I don't really feel like it's a very I don't really feel bad for the character. I mean, I get it. He went through some tough shit, but there's no real connection. Like you don't really feel like you could see yourself in Credence's place. And I think that has to do with the way the story is told. They always alienate Credence from the rest of like everyone else, and they always show that he's just someone to whom bad shit happened to, but they never let you go through it together with Credence to experience what he's experiencing. It's always a third person's perspective, and I think that makes you really feel the not too bad for him. Like for example, you actually see the story from the perspective of Gellert Grindelwald at some points, which is very well delivered by Mads Mikkelsen. His dialogues, his facial expressions, and also just the perspective of the fact that when he and Dumbledore actually come to this close quarters encounter with their wands, they touch each other on the chest. They feel each other's heartbeat. And that moment was very well captured, I felt. That was really, really well done. However, the battle itself was very much more, how can I put it? What's the right term? It was more figurative than literal because the entire battle took place in some sort of a warped time between the moments when their unbreakable vow broke and the moment that the unbreakable wall's pendant hit the floor. So it was like in a falling sequence when they end up in a massive battle, and no one gets to witness it or get involved in it. No one gets affected by it because it all happens within that little, I don't know, maybe half a second, 1 second time frame. So we didn't actually get the final battle between Dumbledore and Grindelwald. What we got is just like some sort of a precursor. So it was really strange because a lot of people probably expected this to be the finale, but it looks like they're just stretching it out. They just want another film. 2.5 hours through this movie, man. Let me tell you, there's probably 20 minutes that's good. The rest of it is just boring, slow, you know, not as good as the first and second ones. Not funny, not captivating. The action sequences are just not good. It's not even serious in the serious parts. There's not that many intense or captivating moments as the first few. Even the romance in this is really downplayed. Jacob Kowalski is just not a very likable character in this one compared to the previous ones. In this one, he just feels a lot more goofy, like even goofier than he previously was. I think they just wanted to establish him as you be goofier than you were, reset you to the first film. Because, as you know, probably know, Jacob's character development is that he actually becomes a more serious and caring character, especially after he gains knowledge of the Visiting World. He actually becomes a lot more interested in Queenie and her backstory, and he really wants to help people out. But in this one, they just wanted to reset his character, sort of take him a few steps back, and somehow Dumbledore gives him a wand and he can use magic. Interesting. I think there's a new concept to it. The fact that the wizards can imbue the wand with enough magical power for a human to use it. Perhaps that's going to be a thing in the future. I'm not really sure how it may play out. I wouldn't mind one of those wands myself, probably to just cruise you a bunch of people. But regardless, this film, in its tone and its dialogue and its pacing and its world building just did not do itself justice because this is a magical story. And if you guys have watched the previous Harry Potter films, you know how important it is to world build on the magical world. And in this one, we didn't really get much of it. Great, we got to see how the unbreakable wow works. We got to see this door-like creature. That's apparently what this whole story is centered on, and apparently it has a twin, and so Grindelwald captures one of these creatures. He converts it with dark magic so that it will bow to him, and people will think that he's going to be the next leader to lead. And there's apparently its twin creature, which Newt Scamander manages to save. So he brings it up towards the end, and it actually bows to Dumbledore, and everyone's like, "Oh, now we gotta worship Dumbledore instead," and they just go for it. It's like no one really questions these methods, so yeah, it's kind of strange. This is the end battle, the duel. This whole thing takes place in like 2 minutes. That's it. The rest of the film is nothing else. What else? All this is just flair, flair, flair. Absolutely nonsense. Does not affect the story in any way. More flair. We actually get to see Dumbledore's sister. I can't remember if it's Ariana. No, is it Ariana? No, it's I can't remember what's her name, but yeah, she's Dumbledore's sister. Supposedly the person who gets killed in the duel between him and Grindelwald. Spoiler, but we don't get to see that story or their fight in this. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, we get these funny shots of the murderous Muggle. We get some shots of the school where Dumbledore is actually already headmaster and is teaching. um yeah, all of these little forgive me window shots and whatever, none of this is really significant. None of these actually matters. A lot of this is just flair, as I said. It doesn't impact the story specifically in any way. A lot of these characters are just side characters. The main story is all about the unbreakable wall that is between Dumbledore and Grindelwald that eventually gets broken because and this whole dancing crap scene, like what the hell were they thinking? So yeah, the wall actually gets broken because Grindelwald tries to use I believe it's a killing curse onto Credence, and it gets deflected or blocked by someone from the Ministry and Dumbledore simultaneously. and somehow that breaks the unbreakable wall. What exactly happens, it is not really explained, but we just have to accept it as what it is because they don't really have time to world build or explain in this, right? They got two and a half hours of absolute rubbish, or rather 2 hours of rubbish and 20 minutes of actual story. And yeah, even this cute little guy, this platypus-like creature, we don't really see it much anymore. Um, yeah. Anyway, that's it, I guess. You could qualify it as a really bad film. Looking at the ratings on IMDb, I think a lot of people reasonably did like the film. 6.3 is considered reasonably high by today's standards, especially a lot of people are building a good taste of films over the years. They're starting to realize that they can't just rate every film 8 out of 10 because that doesn't make sense, right? There's no way the Northmen and the Fantastic Beasts, where to find them, are of the same quality. There's no way the Lost City and what else is 6 out of 10? Okay, Deadly Hollows 8.1. Really? That's pretty high. Doctor Strange is a 7.3. Fantastic Beasts is a 7.2. Really? Hmm. Well, I think it also depends on how people watch it, right? Because this IMDb, so you can have 85,000 people, 100,000 people. Anyway, I'll just put up my rating for this one. My suggestion: should you go and watch this film? Nope. Is it significant? Nope. Does it make a difference in this world? Nope. I think it's a 3 out of 10 for me. It's a really bad film, one of the worst films of the year, probably, and something that we will definitely forget within the Harry Potter franchise. I hope. I think this entire Fantastic Beasts story was done very well in the first one, where you can see clear effort put in, clear idea and motive put in. I think even the second one was followed up reasonably well. But the crimes of Grindelwald just did not live up to its name because it was not much about Grindelwald as to the fact that it was more so about, Newt Scamander and his adventures. I think that they shouldn't really merge the two. It's really like you can clearly see that Newt doesn't belong as a main character in the story. And, if he was, he would have been mentioned a lot more in the Harry Potter lore, which he's not too much a part of, and adding on a side character such as Newt Scamander, who is not really a commanding character, not really a person that you can see you standing up to Grindelwald in any way, right? He's not someone who can challenge Grindelwald, so he's more so just a tool that Dumbledore is using to do his bidding here and there. But Newt has his own story, and his own story has nothing to do with Dumbledore and Grindelwald. It's more so about the Fantastic Beast that he wants to take care of. So in this one, in this particular film, they try to introduce it such that he does get intertwined with Grindelwald because Grindelwald kills the mother of the beast that he's trying to save, and that turns out to be a reasonably good start, but it doesn't really build into anything. Like he just shows up with the next beast and he's like, see, I have the twin bows to Dumbledore. Dumbledore is now the king of the wizarding world, and that's about it. And I think the beast also chooses a woman who turns out to be some other wizard who also is going to lead the wizarding world. So yeah, it's going to be between Dumbledore and her, I think, and I think she will take the lead or something like that. I'm not sure if that is in the books or in the history, but whatever. I mean, there's no issue with some random person being the leader of the Wizarding World. It's just that so Dumbledore is not there yet at this point, probably still denying a responsibility, and we are yet to see the actual final battle between him and Grindelwald, which I think was the hype built behind this film. So this film is really just a stepping stone. It's pretty much irrelevant. It's just an entire film just to break the unbreakable wall, which wasn't really done that well either. And yeah, I think we better just wait for the last one to judge this franchise any further. But quite frankly, I'd rather watch the first one again and enjoy it because I think it really is a just much more solid film, much better written, much better thought of, and much more cared for, as you can probably tell, and especially with the world building, which is a very, very important part of this wizarding world, which I keep emphasizing. And I really hope we get more of it in the next one. So that's it from me. I really was very, very disappointed, very much disappointed, considering the fact that we have such brilliant actors. I mean, Jude Law, Mads Mikkelsen, even Eddie Redmayne. I mean, I watched him in The Danish Girl, I think, and I mean, such a brilliant performance. Eddie Redmayne is just such a good actor, and we all know Jude Law. He's a legendary. Mads Mikkelsen too, super actor. I think this guy could play a villain in any film, and people would love him. And I think he was a brilliant choice to replace Johnny Depp in times of chaos, especially when he was dealing with the horror that he had kept him held in court. Regardless, I wonder if Disney would consider switching Mads Mikkelsen back to Johnny Depp, right? Because you see, if you're willing to switch out an actor because of the controversy surrounding them, now that the controversy is cleared, I think it's fair to say that Johnny Depp should be back where he originally was. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Mads Mikkelsen did a great job, but quite frankly, I think I prefer Johnny Depp. Like, yeah, I think it's questionable, yes, maybe, but I think I really liked Johnny Depp a lot more in the role of Gellert Grindelwald. Wait, I can't find the second film. I'm actually looking for the second one. But yeah, we have Colin Farrell here, but clearly they did not reveal Johnny Depp in this one. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Newt. What is this? It's like a short film. They did this? Really? I had no idea they do things like that. Um, okay. More like this. I'm sure they have it somewhere here. What's this? Let's see. Where to find them? What's this one? Before Harry Potter? Nope. They don't really line these up very well, do they? Doctor Who. Alright, give me a sec. Let me just type it out then. Fantastic Beasts. Crimes of Grindelwald. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think it's also the look that they gave Johnny Depp. The white hair, the silvery eye. It really, I think, brought out the Grindelwald character really, really well compared to the way Mads Mikkelsen did it. Like Mads Mikkelsen, he was, I mean, he's great as a villain and all that, but he looks very normal. Like he just looks like a really ordinary guy. Look at that, right? Like, yes, his acting is spot on, but look at this. I think I much prefer this. The fact that his name is Grindelwald, right? I think Grindel in a specific language actually means lightning. And that's where he gets his name from because of his fancy of using lightning spells, which is also what he does, right? Grindelwald uses a lot of lightning, especially in the escape sequence that you can see in the opening scene of the Crimes of Grindelwald. He actually escapes from this sort of flying carriage where he uses lightning to fight off against his enemies and uses fire towards the end to attack people. And I think this look, the spiky hair, the burning, flaming hair, it sort of gives him that really intense, look. Look at him. Like, I think Mads Mikkelsen would not have pulled this off as well as Johnny Depp did. I think Johnny Depp was just such a strong face and character to give to this role that I actually feel that Mads Mikkelsen is a step down. And while yes, he is a perfect, near perfect replacement, right? Brilliant replacement, brilliant choice of replacement. I feel Johnny Depp needs to get back to that role, considering all the things that he has been through. And yeah, I think this is a good way to end this video. And let me know your guys' thoughts. I really think that if you take a person off because of the controversy surrounding them, now it's all cleared. I think he should be given the role back. And quite frankly, I think Johnny Depp is just better in this character. He's Grindelwald. Like, look at that, right? And not just the look, the way he spoke to people, the way he actually uses his what they call silver tongue, right? The way he can coax people by talking to them, which is the reason they removed his tongue. I think Mads Mikkelsen doesn't do it as well as Johnny Depp does. Johnny Depp really has that really low, husky, captivating voice that really helps you sort of, coax people, bring them to your side, and show that you are not just a powerful villain by your wand, but also by your words. And yeah, I really wish that that would be the case in the final showdown. If that is true, I would devote myself to buying all the Blu-ray Fantastic Beast, and I will eat my words for this film, no matter how bad it is. But I highly doubt Disney will do that. Although I really wish that would be the case. I will keep my hopes up. I think it's fair enough to say I really wish that Johnny Depp comes back for the finale, and I think that's a good reason why they have held back the shooting of the last film, or at least slow down the process from what I've heard. But I can't be too sure because a lot of the news that comes out of all these smaller news sources and what's not can never be too reliable. But at the same time, I'm keeping my hopes up for the fact that they are holding back, probably to give a chance to the real Grindelwald. Look at this shot, right? What makes this shot really different and stand out is just the pose Johnny Depp holds here. Look at him, a complete contrast to Dumbledore, reserved, controlled, you know, and then there's this unleashed, insane. Look at his hair, the spikes. I think it's perfect. Like really compared to this. This is the contrast we need between the two. And yeah, I would really like to see that night and day kind of fight in the finale. So that's it from me for this particular film. Yes, it is a 3 out of 10, but I really hope that things take a better turn for this entire magical story franchise because it's not really going the way we wanted to. But yeah, I hope we have good things coming. See you guys in the next one. Take care.